Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Jerry. Again, there's Max. He's still around. So it seems necessary that we talk about something. There's a recent thing that may or may not have been placed in the media that talks about our Lord and Savior Farhad's first choice for a manager, and it is a rather ambitious choice. So yeah, the word is that Farhad wants to get Simeone, Diego Simeone, from Atletico Madrid, to come coach Everton, manage Everton. Yeah. So Max, I guess the question that I have is that is this even a news story? You know, is it?
Well, like I think many of us have discussed before, Moshiri does seem to be incensed to bring names to the club, big names that make media shockwaves. So, well, I think I read somewhere that being interviewed, I mean, I know, even though he's come out and said the opposite, I think Big Sam, Big Sam, Unsworth, and a European caliber manager. So my first instincts when I seen that was either Carlo Ancelotti, Thomas Tuchel, and now obviously Diego Simeone was the name that came straight out of that. So that is that's big. That's really big. Can you see it happening?
I can't. You know, I mean, can you? Can you see that world?
Well, I mean,
really?
I remember Diego Simeone came out at I think it was the last game at the Vicente Calderon for Atletico, and said it was in front of the crowd, with a microphone, saying how much he loves the club, he loves the fans, and he's staying. So, I mean, I think from an Atletico point of view, there'd be quite a lot of backlash if he was to leave the club for anyone. But it's clear that he does. I think he does love Atletico, and I can't help but feel that this is the smokescreen, because I think the club are good at smokescreens. I mean, John Stones was sold, but look, here's Ashley Williams. Romelu Lukaku was sold, but look, here's Wayne Rooney. You know, the club are good at smokescreens. I mean, that's their credit. I mean, they're good at letting the fans down gently when there's a lot of letting down to be done. But I do think it's a smokescreen.
So, what would it take to get Simeone to Everton? Just throwing it out there.
Well, I was seeing Paul Merson the other day said, well, with the exception of the top six, even though we're not doing as good in the league as we should be, Everton are the next big thing from the top six, and obviously they're all taken for a managerial role. I think managing in the Premier League has got to be the unique selling point. Even though we're not doing very good at the minute, I think if Moshiri emphasises how much of a managerial, I don't even know the word, how much of an experience that is for a manager to manage England and to manage in the Premier League and to experience all such things. But I think that would be a big selling point, and I think obviously it goes without saying money, but I don't think we're short of that. I think a figure that he wanted, we could probably give him, but it's just a manager. It's just a matter of persuading him to leave Atletico Madrid and to see if he wants to pick up the pieces of Everton.
If I'm honest, I think we'd have some serious trouble bringing him. If I'm honest, I think we'd have some serious trouble bringing him in if we weren't in Champions League, and it's that simple. If we somehow, through some sort of miracle of modern science, were to get into Champions League, then it becomes a tastier proposition for him, because then we would have the ability to bring in Champions League quality players. All right, so there's that, but and that would be more of a bigger lure for him. However, it's also a pride thing. You know, the idea of him going from a club like Atletico, and they're in Champions League every year, and sometimes they're actually a force to possibly win it, and then to step down to a club that is maybe not even in Europa League. I just don't think he would do it. I don't think he would want to take that step down. You know, it would be a pride question. I mean, I do think Everton have the money to pay him. I just don't think it's about that. I just don't think that's the problem.
If you just got to look at it with a harsh taste of reality, don't you? Really, I just can't see it happening. I mean, the way Everton have played this, I mean, I can't lie, I'm on a bit of an on a positivity vibe after the Watford game, but I think you still need to look at the reality of the situation. I mean, the squad isn't what we'd want it to be. We haven't got a number 9 that I think Simeone would want to work with, because I think with Simeone comes the heavy influx of 4-4-2 and to be immense at playing that formation. So you need to be immense off the ball, and you need to be immense on the ball, and we just don't have the players to be that good. So yeah, I mean, unless one of the big selling points is, if we bring you in for January, you will have X amount to spend if you can try and bring them in. Which, as you say, without Europe, it's going to be hard to bring in the right caliber of player.
I mean, that's how we got Koeman. Farhad and the guys said, you know what, man, I'll pay you lots of money, and I will give you the money you want to buy the players you want. It will be your squad shaped in your image. I think that's why Koeman came over. I think he was sold a vision. And he got pretty pissed when they didn't completely deliver on the entire plan. You know, and he talked about it in the media, complained about the board several times, you know, about not getting the players that he wanted, not getting all of them.
I think, as you say, when you've mentioned the scenario with Koeman not getting the players that he wanted, I think when Koeman was sacked, one of my first reactions was to see is Steve Walsh still in the job, because I would have thought that if Koeman was to lose his job, then it'd be the same for Steve Walsh, because I think with Steve Walsh being the director of football, I think the responsibility does lie on his shoulders as well. So that'd be another thing to look into, is that whoever it is, Unsworth, Dyche, Simeone, when a name's brought in, if Walsh will still have the same amount of influence with the transfers as he did under Koeman, because obviously with selling Lukaku, we did need that presence and the assurance of at least 15 plus goals in the league, and which, you know, we didn't get.
I mean, and I think you might agree with me here that I think there was a disconnect between the three parties. You've got Koeman, Walsh, and the board. And Koeman and Walsh identify targets and finally come to agreement on them, and the board's the one that's supposed to actually make it happen. You know, I think Walsh was identifying targets and Koeman was vetoing a lot of them. You know? But they did agree on some of them, which is true. But, I mean, when you look at, like, who's at fault, I think you'd have to say they all three are a little bit at fault, right? However, I think the easy answer, the first step, is to look at the fact that the players were not playing for Koeman. The ones that he had, they were not putting in the effort for him. And I think you have to start there. So that was kind of the easy answer. We actually have a lot of response on social media people responding to the Simeone rumors. So let's hear this. Eddie Grundy says, yeah, and I want a full head of hair. Astros Fanatic says, as long as it isn't Allardyce, that's the worst rumor I've heard all year. Elmer Dinkley says, he'll get along just fine with Sanchez. Oh, Farhad. All right, so it's great. Gavin Hill says, is right. Go big. Mabian, Everton. I'm not completely sure if I butchered that name. I apologize. Mabian says, he can read my mind. Jean Yam, or Jean Yam, not sure which one. I feel like an idiot now. Says, I hope this happened and it will be good for the league, and I applaud the owner ambition. And hashtag positive thinking. All right? Rich says, is Sky Bet a news for Sky Sports News? So yeah, I think it's basically saying that Sky is manufacturing these things to get people betting. Not a ridiculous comment. Rodney Williams says, he ain't gonna come to Merseyside. Moira Lamb says, I wanted him after Bobby Brown shoes. He has a passion for the game. I know. I don't want Sam. All right. Ricky Carr says, would love, but let's be real. He's never going to join us. So what? No, but he's never going to join us whatsoever. Ian McFarlane says, yes, please. Gosh, there's so many of these. Seat _ Cupra 14. I've said a dream, I think. And then there's a laughing smiley face. Reese Owen says, this is almost as unrealistic as Alexis Sanchez to Everton. I mean, I can't argue with like any of these. Henry's Smeda 66. If Farhad pulls this off, then he'll shock the world. Mick Carney doesn't comment. He just puts a lot of laughing, crying, smiley faces, and then a smiling little turd emoji thing. Kyle Banfield says, everyone is laughing and saying this is unrealistic. Money controls football nowadays, and Farhad Mashiri has plenty of money to afford and fund the move for Simeone. Plus, look at it. Yeah, Atletico may be a top side, but Everton have the capability to be a top side as well. The talent is there. We just need the right manager. Simeone is a respectable choice for a club manager that prides itself on most of its key, and I don't know if I can finish this. No, it went away. Yeah, these just keep going. There are so many comments on Simeone, you know? Yeah, mainly they're saying, yes, this would be great, or this is unrealistic. That's it. There were so many. If I didn't read your comment, I'm sorry. There were just too many of them. All right? Gosh. Yeah. So, anyway, I think we share the sentiments of everybody. It would be great to get a manager like this, but right now it's not the most realistic thing. So, I guess that wraps up our conversation about the potential for Simeone coming to Everton. If you're liking our videos, thank you. You should subscribe as well so you know when we're actually putting these videos out. Also, give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. That's just nothing but pure optimism fuel for us. Makes us feel nice. Also, leave some comments. You know, maybe you think we're being a little too skeptical about the possibility of Simeone coming to Everton. You know, maybe you think we're being ridiculous. Tell us that in the comments. All right? Give us some analysis. We're good with that. We will respond to every comment. That's a thing we do. All right? So, yeah. So I guess that's it. Max, thanks so much, man. And we got to go make another video. All right. Bye.